What's up now? I'm your host, Dash. Usually I don't talk about politics, but I gotta have one of these rants one of these days, so why not now? One of the topics that I will talk about later is about abortion, and it happened before Trump's speech, State of the Union speech, but I will get to that later on. I've been meaning to do a rant about that, but this came up, so why not do it now? So, Trump's speech, or the State of the Union. Let me get my notes here. So it took me a while. I had to transcribe and do some edits of the whole speech. Aaron Blake posted the whole speech, but I did some edits and wrote it according to what Trump actually said. And for the most part, he went with the speech word for word, and it seemed like he did some ad-libs here and there, but hey, that's fine. I think he did well in the speech. The speech overall was good. It's pretty moving. I got a little tingly feeling about it. I think if there was a little bit of music and a different maybe delivery, it could be like one of those movies where they get people all pumped up with their speech of going to war type. That could have been it, but he did well. Did better than me, and I don't like to read. Okay, only sometimes. All right, so we'll start it off. I'll just go pretty much in order. So he started off with this. It's not the very exact thing, the first thing he said, but I'll go with this. I'll start off with this. Millions of our fellow citizens are watching us now, gathered in this great chamber, hoping that we will govern not as two parties, but as one nation. To me, that was significant. He started off like that because for a while it's been basically everybody, Democrats, of course, against Trump. Not just Democrats, but people in sports, celebrities, just regular people as well, at work, cousin. That's I've been kind of not touching the political subject, but it seemed like I've been pushed to it. My cousin, I also call a close friend. One day, he's talking about Trump, and he asked me if I was for him or whatever, and I was like, I'm like, whatever. Then from there, he pretty much basically went off and started going off with all his spiel and everything, and saying that he's the worst president and Obama did way better than him, so forth. I'm like, it's still kind of early, 2 years. It's hard to put everything on one person on 2 years. He didn't even finish the full term yet, and he get criticism. But to me, it wasn't really about his belief or my belief, or not being full Trump, pro-Trump, or anti-Trump. I was just kind of hands off with politics, because to me, I'd rather be living my life and not worry about it, hoping that these lawmakers and people in charge would do the right thing. But lately, I've just been getting into it because it does affect me, and there were some things that was passed in my state that I did not agree with. There is a bill or legislation that the home needs to have approved gun lock or gun safe. Approved gun lock, gun safe. And that if for some reason, for example, like a burglar or whoever gets into the house, gets access to your gun, and commits a crime, you get in trouble because it was not in a approved safe. To me, that's kind of ridiculous. Now, if someone burglarizes your house, gets your gun, they commit a crime, they committed a crime. How am I responsible for that? And for example, if someone came into my house, took my knife set, I got several knives in that set, but anyways, if they took my knife set and committed a crime, should I get in trouble? It was in a locked safe. That's my property. You know, they broke in, they committed a crime. It's on them. It shouldn't be on me. So I'm hoping the people of my state would get together and make an appeal for that, because to me that's kind of ridiculous. Excuse me. There's other things on that legislation that I don't agree with, but for me that was just ridiculous. Now it seems like they're trying to be like New York or California. Well, that gives you a hint of where I'm at. I'm not in Cali or New York. But anyway, you know, things like that started happening in the past September, October, November, December, January, and State of the Union, February. So for a while, I've been kind of hands off politics because it gets heated sometimes, and you know, friendships lost, family members get torn apart. And when my cousin was like that to me, it seemed like he was attacking me. And, you know, I was kind of neutral. But since I was neutral, to him it was attacking me because I wasn't even anti-Trump. I wasn't trying to take Trump's head off. You know, I mean, he was attacking me. And to me, that was more the important thing than beliefs, because he can believe whatever he wants. I believe whatever I want. And it was more of him trying to push his beliefs on me. And I don't know why he was being like that, you know. He should know already that I'm not one of those so-called dumb people. And since I'm not anti-Trump, that's kind of oxymoron, saying two negative things. But anyway, since I was not anti-Trump, he was attacking me, and it seemed like he wanted to say, "You're an idiot," but deep down inside, he knows I'm not. And if he even uttered those words, he would be an idiot himself. So at least he kind of kept his cool for somewhat. But to me, it was more of the attack, not necessarily the beliefs, that really got to me and got me wondering why people get so pumped up and kind of forced me to actually look and be more into politics and really get to see what Trump's about and what he says and what things are going on, in the government with his team. And I've been listening to people that's into QAnon. And there's some good things there. There's a lot of information, and who's ever doing the Q stuff and if they're really putting all this work into it, into Twitter and everything, man, that's a lot of work. That's on another level. If you break it down and things happen as they say it would, man, there's just a lot of things. So it got me wondering and try to learn more and see who's saying what, and I got to see who the people are that are anti-Trump and who they listen to. For example, people who listen to CNN, MSNBC, Trevor Noah, Seth Meyers. People like that, if they actually listen to them every day, then they would be anti-Trump. People like Kathy Griffin, yeah, there's free speech and everything, but things that she has done, things she has said, it seems more than beyond the respect of the presidency. It's more respect for that person. Titles, status come and go. People are people first. And some people like that get too pumped up to be hateful. I just wonder what's going on with them that they would be so hateful, I guess. I mean, if there was another president, like Hillary, even though I don't agree with her, things she's done, and it seemed like there's a lot of people that's been leaving this world, that's been around them, even though there's a lot of things that I don't agree and I'm actually happy she didn't get to become the president. Even if she was, I would just have to give her at least somewhat of respect just for the title. But coming from the military background, there is always that respect that Commander-in-Chief, even though you may not agree, you still have to give him at least that respect. And even if she was in, I would have given her at least that. If the saying goes, if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all. And for the most part, that's how I've been. I don't like to be negative. I like to be more on the positive side, but how people are these days and how people's character shows up, sometimes I wonder, maybe I'm way too old. It seems like I'm more grown than they are. Because some, those kids that act up and say things that they don't necessarily mean. That's why I'm always slow to reply, because I'm careful in what I say. Because there are consequences to what you say and how you say it. And all this really just made me look into politics even more. You know, there were some people that mentioned that I should be a lawyer. I'm like, it's okay. I'm not really into debates. You know, I mean, if I have enough research on certain things, then yeah, I could win. But there's really no point. I mean, if politics was better in terms of integrity, then I would. Then there would be actually compromise and getting things done and making this a better place. Then yeah. But there's so much out there that's negative that makes me not even think about it. Because there are a lot of things that I want to do, want to improve, but sometimes I wonder if votes really count. And even if you vote with other people, other team, cheat. I mean, it's happened. So I've been getting into politics, well, not that deep, just listening into what other people have been saying and trying to gather information and have more of an opinion for myself, not just being not even a spectator. I was more outside the stadium. So now I'm more in the stadium, spectator, not being in it, you know, going to rallies or doing a protest or anything like that. I'm not on that level. But right now I'm just forming opinions, gathering information, and looking things in a common sense way, if you can put it like that. You know, logical sense. And I've been listening to more people, been getting more into it, and the more I get into it and more I see, the more the crazier it is. It's crazy. I mean, it shouldn't be like this, but maybe I think too much in the positive and trying to be more in the perfect world type. I mean, like I say before, life is already hard. Why make it harder? You know, some people make it harder than it has to be. You know, why not make things simple? But I guess some people like it complicated. Some people like it hard. You know, if I can learn things the easy way, then why not? Life is already hard. There are so many things out there that we could face. People go through an experience, and it seems like people make things harder than it has to be. And lately I just been getting into politics, and then now I'm going to this rant. And yeah, it's gonna be long, probably a lot longer than the usual topic I talk on this podcast, I guess you could say. So now we're here, or I'm here. Listen to the State of the Union. I was kind of late, maybe 10 hours late or so. I watched it on Fox News, and they've actually had some good hosts, and they've been bringing up some good points and asking good questions, and then the host anchors seem like they have good minds and they're logical, like Tucker, Laura Ingraham, John Miller. So if you know who they are and if you listen to them or watch them, then you kind of know how I am or where I'm coming from, I guess. So I watched it just to listen and just see how it was the first time, and second time I actually did the edit and put in the how many applauses and everything, and did that exact edit of what Trump actually said, not the transcript that was given by Aaron Blake. So before the speech and after the speech, Trump got 103 applauses. Well, not necessarily for him each time, but there were that many breaks. So people said that the State of the Union address was too long. I mean, if you cut off all those applauses, then it would be a lot shorter. But since there were applauses, and I would say the length of it was fine. Going through doing the edit took hours actually, because I had to rewind and see or listen to what Trump actually said. So we'll get back into it. And Trump was saying that it should not be two parties but one nation, and we should be one nation. Doesn't matter what party, Republicans, Democrat. Honestly, I think there should be no party, really. People should just run as is, and people should vote for whoever, because that's who's going to run, not necessarily, they're a Republican, I'm going to vote. But maybe that's just my opinion. So for Trump, at least, I think this whole State of the Union address and everything, and how it went down, where it went down, how people reacted and everything, actually showed people who Trump is and what he's for, and showed what other people in the political world in America are. And it showed their colors, if you will. So his other quote was a good quote. Whoever wrote this was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And there was this quote that I liked. It's more of a political thing, but it could be applied in other situations as well. But his quote is, "Victory is now winning for our party. Victory is winning for our country." And victory it's winning for our country. Just like all the people before us, they fought for our country. It wasn't to be, I'm fighting this war overseas for the Republicans. No, you fight for the country, for the nation. And to me, that was a good quote. Whoever wrote that was good. And Trump, of course, acknowledged the people that were in the wars. He mentioned D-Day and Private First Class Joseph Riley, Staff Sergeant Irving Locker, and Staff Sergeant Herman Zaitchik. He acknowledged them, and it's like a pay respects to the people who actually been through things much worse than the things that we normally deal with. And one thing about Trump, that he does say thank you a lot. Very a lot. Great a lot, but that's Trump. If you like it, cool, whatever. Some people like him and some people hate him. And for me, I don't really care if it is Trump or whoever, as long as they're making the country better, looking out for the people. That's, to me, that's what's more important than who it actually is. And to me, it boggles my mind why people are so hateful towards Trump. But anyways, one thing that kind of surprised me was that Trump gave props to Buzz Aldrin. I honestly thought he passed away already, but he was there, he stood up. And then once all the applause and everything, everybody sat down, Trump said, "Thank you, Buzz. This year, American astronauts will go back to space on American rockets." I'm like, all right, cool. The thing that was surprising is Buzz Aldrin's reaction to that. Was it to the American rockets or back to space? Because his reaction was like he was distraught. Like he was mortified. His look, his reaction. I don't know. Maybe it's just me just looking too much into it. I don't know. I tend to look at people's reaction, and not just their facial features or body language or whatnot, but things they say as well. And to me, that was kind of odd. To me, since he went to the moon, he should be so for it, or gung-ho for the astronauts going back to space thing. I mean, it's just me. I don't know. I thought he would have been yay or whatever. His look was surprising. So we'll go down, and there were people. I guess there were Democrats. It seemed like the whole right side were Democrats. Couldn't really tell, but I figured they were, since they're the ones that didn't stand up so much, clap so much. And when Trump made where is this at? Oh, he said, "But we must reject the politics of revenge, resistance, and retribution, and embrace the boundless potential of cooperation, compromise, and the common good." I don't think they stood up for that. I mean, there were plenty of times they didn't stand, so hey, I'm not surprised. And this just reminded me of man, where is that? Or he Trump mentioned. Oh man, where is that? It's here somewhere. Okay, I'm skipping around, but anyways, when Trump made this speech, or this particular part in his speech, an economic miracle is taking place in the United States. And the only thing that can stop it are foolish wars, politics, or ridiculous partisan investigations. And man, Nancy Pelosi's reaction was she gave that reaction like, oh please. Not quite sure if she actually rolled her eyes, but to me that was kind of funny. Trying to put that partisan investigations thing, and to me that's fine. Some people are like, it's not the time for it. I'm like, it's whatever. It's his time, so why not bring it up? Because, for example, if they're gonna do this much investigations on Trump, then they should do it for Hillary, right? I mean, if you're gonna do one thing for one, then you should do the same thing for the other, right? And to me, being Secretary of State, having that secret, I'm not sure if she had secret or top secret, but anyways, if you have that kind of classification, you know what to say, when to say it, where to say it. Because if you're in the federal system, you get training about that. At least yearly. ComSec, OPSEC. But she didn't get in trouble for all these classified emails. Not just that, really obstruction of justice. All the evidence destroyed, bleach, all that. Really, I don't know. To me, that's crazy. That went on, and still nothing. Yeah. And Trump gets all this about Russia collusion. I don't know. To me, it was kind of funny because he was doing some meetings with Putin before all this, and to me, I think he set that up specifically just so they can have this thing about Russia collusion, and it seemed like there's nothing there, and they're searching, they're trying to buy time for more things to pop up, I guess, so they can impeach him. I guess, I don't know. But when he said that, partisan investigations, to me, I'm like, I laughed because it's ironic that he gets this kind of treatment, but the other people don't. And just shows you how things are and how people are. And brings back to Democrats, or the era ladies, and on that side, I guess there would be three big name ones: Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, and AOC. In terms of the females, Kamala Harris, she didn't wear that white outfit, but anyway. And some things that I thought they would agree on, or clap for, or stand up for, or whatever, but they didn't. Trump mentioned that 5.3 million new jobs, 600,000 new manufacturing jobs, and just the economy in general. I mean, to me, I think there's plenty of jobs. I've been doing job searching, and there seems to be plenty around. I mean, of course, you're not going to get that top rate pay for not having that kind of education and experience behind you, but there are enough jobs out there, and manufacturing, I could say yes to that. I don't know about 600,000. I mean, I'm not head of manufacturing department that keeps track of all that. But anyways, there are more manufacturing jobs and just more jobs in general. People are hiring. So for the economy to be bad, where there's a lot of unemployment, I mean, to me, unemployment, people should just try to find a job. I mean, it may not be your dream job or whatnot, but how often do people get to have their dream jobs? There's only a few that could actually say they have their dream job. But anyways, there are plenty of jobs out there. And Trump mentioned that with a booming economy, from what he says, the women actually were the ones that benefited from it. I believe the number was 58% of the women, or of all the people that got jobs, were women. And all those era ladies, they didn't stand up for things that Trump was saying, but they stood up for that. When Trump mentioned that most of them were in the Congress. Hold on, let me get you that quote. Okay, the quote was 58% newly created jobs last year. So women filled that spot up, 58%, as opposed to men. And I'd say that's majority. That's considered majority, right? But anyways, was funny that the era ladies didn't stand up, but they stood up for that. But it took them about 7 seconds for some of them to actually start standing up, be like, oh, okay. And not sure her name or whoever, but it seemed like, from reading the lips, it seemed like, yeah, that's us. And it took her about 10, 11 seconds to stand up and do that after he made those comments. After he said, no one has benefited more from our thriving economy than women, who have filled 58% of the newly created jobs last year. So imagine 7 seconds later, and then the era ladies started standing up and cheering. Took them 7 seconds, really? Are you not in the chamber listening? I mean, that's what you're there for, right? To listen. And to me, when people is making a speech, and to me it's annoying when people talk. Like, why? You're there to listen to that person. And to me, that was kind of annoying. And of course, Democrats were doing a lot of that. And funny that of all the things that they could have stood up for, they stood up for that. We're women. We're proud. Yeah, that's great. 58% of the newly created jobs were the women. Okay, cool. New age, more women working. Cool, whatever. And you stood up for that, and not the other things. And let me show you the okay, maybe I can't show, but the other things that were mentioned were border wall, security, and abortion. I'll do the abortion last. The economy booming, and first time that we have net for energy, so we could actually export it in America. So we have more oil than the Middle East, and that gives us an edge because now we have more oil. Now we can control the economy a little bit more exports. Excuse me. And talking about the border security, that's one of the other main points. Excuse me. Man, sorry. I had breakfast, and now it's not like coming up, but I'm burping, so I'm sorry for all that. Anyways, yeah, Trump mentioned the wall, and that other people have mentioned it about having a wall, but they didn't go through, and Trump is gonna have it built. So that's one of his promises. And some people have been saying that the Army Corps of Engineers are out there and they're building it right now. So we might see some progress sometime soon. Maybe not. Maybe they just won't cover it and just pretend nothing is happening down there. I don't know. I guess we'll see in the next few months, maybe even next year. We'll see. And of course, the president also gave props to the people in the border, and that he's not gonna, I guess, neglect the heroes from ICE. And having that kind of job is is hard. Obviously, people have died, and people smuggling drugs, people. If you have that kind of thing going on, there's some bad things that will happen. Not just to those people, but if people were to get caught, if things were to go down in a bad way. So, for him to have a wall, or the nation have a wall, to me, if I was to be put into yes or no, then I'll be into yes. I'm a little bit biased because I've been in the military life for a while, and these military bases in America and abroad, well, what do they have? Walls. Not necessarily a wall in every single base, but maybe a fence or something. But there's a barrier there that this is the base. You're not allowed to come here unless you're authorized to. And people forget that. If you've been in the military or worked on base, you know the significance of that wall is to limit access. And whoever is authorized, well, they can come in. So what he was saying is, we want people to come into the country just legally. And hey, how can you really argue that? Have you ever been to a country like, for example, Japan? Japan is a little easy. You don't need a visa, but you could get a passport and you still go through customs and immigration and everything like that. But have you ever been to China, Laos, Vietnam? You actually need permission, not just a visa, but actual permission. Had to do that one time, and even though I wasn't gonna do anything bad, I'm not a terrorist or anything, I still had to do the proper paperwork. And what Trump and his administration is trying to say is that people can come, just do it the right way. And the wall helps keep all the bad people out, and all the people that properly can go in, and they can pass. It's not that hard. But I'm not sure why people are so against the wall. I mean, to me, that's a lot of wall if you're gonna do from water to water, California to Texas. That's a lot of wall. But they did mention that in key spots where there's a lot of illegal immigrants, and that's a good start where there's a lot of them, and then go from there. But to build that wall, if they even it'd be crazy if they actually did coast to coast or water to water, California to Texas. That's a lot of wall, but if they succeed, to me that's more national security than what people have been doing in the past years, claiming national security. Oh, you can't know this because it's national security. To me, that's more of national security than all those other things posed as national security. So maybe I'm just biased for the walls, because I've lived many of my years dealing with walls and entry. Maybe it's just me. But anyways, we'll go on to the next topic. And one that I actually was kind of surprised about was his speech about HIV and AIDS, that they have made breakthroughs. And I'll just, it's probably easier to just read what he wrote. Alright. In recent years, we have made remarkable progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Scientific breakthroughs have brought a once distant dream within reach. My budget will ask Democrats and Republicans to make the needed commitment to eliminate the HIV epidemic in the United States within 10 years. We have made incredible strides. Incredible. Then applause. Together, we will defeat AIDS in America and beyond. To me, that's powerful. I mean, I don't think I know anyone with AIDS or HIV, or no, I can't recall. So if you're gonna say no, I don't know anybody, and then go back later, like, oh, you said on your podcast you didn't know anybody, I can't recall. But anyways, if you're not with that, then I don't know. I mean, that's to defeat something that takes away so many lives, not just actual lives, but their state of mind mentally and their life in general. How AIDS take that away, and if they can eliminate that in 10 years, man, that's crazy. But then that would be going against big pharma. But maybe that's why more people hate Trump. I don't know. But to me, that's a good thing. If you can eliminate something like that, it's actually looking out for the people. There was... And then he mentioned, Grace. She's a kid, and being up there and in front of all those people, all those adults, and then also on cameras, she looked nervous, and that's fine. And plus, she's a kid too. So, anyways, so Trump was mentioning that she had raised $40,000 to give to St. Jude's Hospital, because she herself was diagnosed and she just finished her last chemo and seemed like she was doing well. And it sucks for kids to go through that. And if she can get a fund together, 40,000 for the cause against cancer, then there are more people out there that can do a lot more. But anyways, when Donald Trump was saying 40,000, it seemed like Melania Trump was trying to say 30. But anyways, you can look back and see for yourself if that's what she was trying to say. But anyways, if it's 30, 40, I mean, the kid did super well to raise that much money for cancer, which she herself experienced. So St. Jude Children's Hospital, Research Hospital, I mean, you could see that in a lot of places. There's these little donation things. For example, some gas stations have them. It's usually next to the cashier. You just drop in, and for the most part, they have been St. Jude's, but it could be for something else. But from what I remember, those were for St. Jude. But if you can donate for a good cause like that, hey. I mean, I don't know that hospital, no experience. And if they're actually doing good work or not, I don't know. There goes my hopeful thing. I hope they're doing the good thing and doing actual research and helping kids out. I'm hoping that's what they're actually doing with the money that they get. But that's a whole nother topic about charities, foundations. And yes, there is another person out there with a big foundation, but that's another topic that we'll go through one day. And I guess I'll just leave it here as my last thing, is that abortion thing. And many of those ladies, era ladies, well, they're the ones that's capable of giving birth, and I don't see how they could agree with this late-term abortion. You know, I'm not even a full pro-choice guy. You know, to me, my absolute limit would be 5, but really, 3 months, 4 months. You know, some women, they get their cycle late, their period late, like 2 months, maybe even up to 3 months. But 3 months, they'll figure out, oh, she's pregnant. Okay, well then you have that 1 month. To me, at 4 months, you should know what you want to do already. But that's just me, my personal take on that. But this bill that New York passed, and Virginia was trying, Kathy Tran was trying as well, but New York passed a bill that late-term abortions are allowed, and how Governor Northam, but anyways, he was mentioning that you can look through YouTube and search for the video, but he was basically saying, take the baby out the womb, keep it comfortable, resuscitate if that's what the mother wishes, and then we can have a conversation what to do next. What do you mean what to do next? Baby's born, you know, most babies go to, you know, a special room because they're still small and very fragile. So maybe that's what he's talking about, where to take the baby. I mean, he's experiencing that medical field, that area, so I don't see why he would have to ask questions about that. But I'm thinking, if the mother wishes to abort the baby's already out, then they can. So to me, that's ridiculous. I mean, baby's born already. That's their own life. You know, a mother has no more say in it. So if you take a life of a baby after it's born, then that would be murder, right? You know, I'm more pro-choice, but to me that's ridiculous. After a baby is born, that's whoever agrees to that late-term abortion bill is, you know, hard to say people are crazy, but they need to really think of what they're agreeing on. And these are the people that were supposedly elected by the people. And that bill was passed and people were cheering. To me, that was ridiculous. And you know, when Kathy Tran was in that meeting, the speaker asked, if the womb is dilating, can you have a late-term abortion? Is that in your bill? And Kathy Tran said, yes, in my bill. Yes, we allow that in my bill. Not the exact quote, but anyways, you allow that when even up to that point. And according to Governor of Virginia, even after, but up to that point, you can have an abortion. To me, that's crazy. And the era ladies didn't stand up for Trump wanting to basically take that bill away. And they did not stand up. And they're women. To me, that's crazy. I mean, how can you not stand for something like that? You know, for a baby that is born out the womb, can still abort it. And the woman didn't stand up. And the whole side were, I believe, Democrats, I believe. And they didn't stand up for that. And if you're the people that voted for those people, then who are you really voting for? I mean,